In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 additional tips on how to find Fitspiration, how to set attainable goals, and how I use my friend Tiffany to keep me motivated along my fitness journey. And you know I have to do a story time. Stay tuned. Tip number 2, find your Fitspiration. Why start on tip number 2? Tip number 1 was in my last video. Please click the link right here, and I promise you, it's a story time in there that will blow your mind. Now, what is Fitspiration? It's your inspiration to get fit. The first person was a childhood friend. She had a treadmill in her bedroom. She had a step to practice step aerobics so she could get her routine together before class. Honey, I stayed with her for just a brief time while I was getting my life together. And she used to knock on the door, "Hey, you coming to work out today?" I'm like, no. She was like pushing me, trying to push me to, get fit. But I wasn't even really into it right then. But I've always watched her over the years, and fitness has always been very important to her. She maintains a fit lifestyle. My second person was one of my former coworkers. She's an IFBB pro, International Federation of Bodybuilding, and I remember she used to always say, "Well, I'm getting ready to go to the gym." I'm like, "Girl, you always going to the gym. Do you ever not work out?" She says, "Do you ever not eat, drink, sleep?" Now, she didn't say it with no attitude, but she let me know that fitness and working out was a part of her daily routine, and she couldn't live without it. We used to go out to eat sometimes, and just a little fast food restaurant after work. I would order my 2-piece chicken and a biscuit, with the red beans and rice and the coleslaw and the strawberry Fanta with the little biscuit with the little grape jelly, and want some Popeyes. I ain't really seen too many Popeyes around in Los Angeles. She would order 5 pieces of chicken, y'all. She would pull back the skin, and I'm looking like, "Girl, you crazy? The skin, the good part. What you doing?" And she would throw it to the side, and I'd be looking at it like, "Can I have your skin?" But I ain't trying to be greedy. I'm just finished my little 2-piece. So I was like, dang, how she fit all of that into her body? And the guys was like, dang. But she used to eat protein to build that muscle. Fast forward, like 5 years later, I looked her up. Check out her picture and tell me if you would not be Fitspired. Okay? My third Fitspiration was actually one of my former students. So we shared the last name, so every time we see each other, like, "Hey, cousin." She started a slim thick journey. I follow her on Instagram, and she would post in her Insta stories, her fitness routine. She'd be working out, and I was watching her 6-pack was popping out before my eyes. I'm like, "Girl, you go ahead." She actually inspired me to start the journey that I just finished. Oh, and she can do some hair, baby. Your hair struggling, because, baby, right now I don't have no products. And Sally Beauty Supply does not have product for this kind of hair. Okay, so don't nobody start giving me no little tips in the comments. Baby, Sally can't do nothing with this. Now, her name was Sally Jean, maybe. You know how sometimes we print out pictures of people we put on our refrigerator? Well, I was actually my own inspiration, because I went back to 2008 when I did my first marathon. And I'm like, you know what? If you get to this shape, then you can get right back. Sometimes we try to attain to be something like a Janet Jackson or a Tiana Taylor when our body might not be capable of doing that. So I knew what my best body was, so that's what I was trying to re-achieve. Tip number 3, set goals, but set attainable goals. Set long-term and short-term goals. Long-term, the big picture. I know I want to lose 60 pounds, but of course, you can't lose it all like in a week. Then I set short-term goals. Every 6 weeks, my goal was to try to lose 20 pounds. And so I was biting away at the 60 pound that I wanted to achieve in 6 months. And so when you do that, you actually set yourself up for success. So don't have these high expectations that you're going to lose some humongous amount of weight in such a really short period of time. Tip number 4, find motivation and support. Now, if you watched my first video that I mentioned earlier, I used money as my motivation to lose over 60 pounds. And so please check that video out. But besides money, I actually had other things that kept me motivated. I know some people have heard of Weight Watchers. Well, I joined Weight Watchers, and this was back in the day. And I remember I used to love Weight Watchers because every time you set a milestone, like if you lose your first 5 pounds, you get these little trinkets that go on your keychain. And I used to have WW on it. Of course, I love getting up in front of the people, acting like you know it all. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, first, here's a tip. Stay hydrated. I told you about that in a video as well, so check out that. Back when I did Weight Watchers back in 2000, early 2000, I had a student, you know, of course, they used to give you the WW and you would put it on your keychain. He walked over to my desk and he was like, "Hey, Miss Grits, what's this? You got all these WW." He said, "What's this stand for?" Put my keys down. I said, "And for your information, it stands for wildly wonderful." Okay. So my mama got some of them. I think it stands for... I had to shut him up before he told everybody I was doing Weight Watchers. That was kind of embarrassing. But I'm like, if you don't put my keys down. But I used to love to get the little trinkets. Another thing, I joined the Ladies Workout Express because I hate going to the gym and being gawked at by men. You over here trying to, you know, use the Smith machine and they standing over there. You know, I ain't trying to have nobody check me out. I'm trying to lose weight because I feel fat. Hey, what you doing? Hit the notification bell. I love Ladies Workout Express because when you first join, they take your measurements everywhere from the rooter to the tutor, baby. They do your neck, they do your arm, your bicep, flexed and not flexed. They do everything. You know, even my knees, honey, they was measuring the fat around your knee. And I love those non-scale victories because sometimes we look at the number on the scale as motivation, but sometimes when your clothes start getting a little looser and you notice you lost 4 inches off your gut and off your, you know, your thighs and your hips, and that's motivation, you know. So it's not always about the number, because sometimes also when you're building muscle, you know, as long as your body fat is decreasing, if your muscle increases, of course you're going to gain weight. So don't even worry about that. But those non-scale victories, I used to love that. And the fact that it's no intimidation. When I go in there, it's not a whole bunch of, you know, I feel comfortable. You know, ain't nobody staring you down, trying to come over to figure out how they gonna slide them digits to you. Get out the way, boy. Nobody ain't here looking at you. You kind of cute though. My last motivation came from when I decided to do a marathon. Now, my first marathon was to raise money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, LLS, and with Team in Training, go team, in Georgia. I was like, I never really raised money for worthy causes. My mom died from diabetes complications, so I would donate to the American Diabetes Association, because they only have like a dash for diabetes, which is like a one-day event. But I wanted to do something that was going to be like over a long period of time. And so I signed up for this marathon. Some of the motivating factors for me signing up was it was going to be in San Francisco. Nike and Tiffany & Company came together and they sponsored this. And so I had never been to California before. And so I was like, oh yeah, I get a chance to go to San Francisco. It was so beautiful, y'all. That day I declared on the marathon day that I was moving to California, and now I am here, honey. You have what you speak, okay? The last thing that was really a motivation during that time was the fact that, you know, sometimes when you do an event, you get one of these clunky, well, in the words of the chick from Coming to America, we love the kind that jingles,
but we'd rather get the kind that folds.
When we finished our marathon, there was these firemen dressed in tuxedos with these silver platters. Y'all, they had this. They was like, Tiffany is served. Baby, they were serving up Tiffany necklaces. So as you finished, they handed you your Tiffany box. I was like, yeah. And I loved it too, because when we finished the marathon, you know how Nike's slogan is just do it. When we finished, I was like, just did it. And I felt so good. Who you know got a Tiffany necklace for finishing their first marathon instead of one of these little clunkies? Exactly. How many of y'all have this friend that loves to hype you up to do all this stuff? Sometimes it's crazy stuff. Well, I had a friend like that. And you know, we used to get these postcards, and you know, it's like, raise money for this cause, raise money for that cause. You know, I actually took time to read the card. And it was like, save the night, you know, event for a lifetime. And just in casual conversation, I mentioned it to this girl. And she said, girl, I got the same car. Let's do it. And I was like, yes. And I was like, girl, this thing is in Alpharetta or Dunwoody somewhere. Now, if you're from Atlanta, if you jump on 20 going west and then try to get on 285 to make it somewhere by 6 o'clock, you're going to be in the thick of rush hour, okay? And so I was like, ugh, I don't know if I want to do this. She talked me into it, right? And so I, got in my car, braved the drive. It took like forever. I made it just in time. Now, in the meanwhile, every time the door opened, I'm looking around trying to find my friend that hyped me up to do this. She also hyped me up to be in the trunk of my car as we went on this exploration to spy on her man, the things you do for your friends. After about 30 minutes, I realized this heifer that invited me to come to this thing and then she ain't even coming. And so I was like, okay, all right. So after I kept listening, I was like, I had to make a decision. Either you're going to sign up or you're going to flake out like your friend. This was on a Friday. Okay, so I called her when I get in the car. And I'm like, girl, she's not answering her phone. I know this is me calling you. And so, I left her like a whole bunch of messages, y'all. She never called me back. She never mentioned it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how you do that to somebody? And so I was like, oh, I got your number. I'm going to do this thing anyway. The first run was on Saturday morning. I had to drive to this place called Brookhaven. And Brookhaven is a real ritzy area. We've had those invisible fences, and I'm terrified of dogs. But this dog came running full speed. I'm up here going, oh my God! I started screaming. The lady's like, oh no, I'm sorry. It's an invisible fence. So, if he gets close to it, it'll shock him and he'll turn around. And I was like, oh, okay. So after being terrified a few times from that, I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to be calm and be like, okay, they got invisible fence. Yoo-hoo! Subscribe. But here's the thing. They gave me a calendar and I had to put in like so many miles, like your weekly runs. And it's kind of hard to stay motivated to do this by yourself. So I'm going to tell you, I was like, okay, since I signed up for this event, I got to put in like up to 6 miles some days. And if you're not a runner, it's hard to do. The good part is I, from the entry to my complex all the way to my front door of my apartment, it was actually a mile. And so when I had to do high mileage and I knew that I didn't want to be out roaming around the streets late at night trying to make it back home after dark, I would just go up and down the sidewalk. But I always put my sunglasses on because I don't even want to look at nobody because I'm out of shape, and I'm thinking, but I'm going to do it. I think I can. I know I can. And so, sometimes people be blowing their horn, doing little cat calls. Hey! Or guys. All that kind of stuff. I'm like, so if I keep the sunglasses on, I'm not looking at nobody, so it's no, big deal or whatever. I noticed when I get close to this certain spot, this man would kind of come out of the bushes, right? And I had to be like, look, don't come over here. I'm going to call 911. Because, first of all, do you live out in them bushes? I see you every day. And then when we made eye contact, he go back up in his little, I'm like, So I started staying on the other side of the street. One day he was on that side and I just stopped and I'm like, and he crossed the street. Okay, then I kept on going. So I was like, dude, I don't even want to get close to you because I don't know, you look like a Chester, the molester. Don't come close to me. Oh, to stay motivated, y'all, like when I come home from work, I ain't gonna lie to you. If I come in the house, put my stuff down and sit down, that's it. I would actually strip at the front door. So I would basically come in there, put my work stuff down, and just start taking clothes off. I would leave on the drawers, but I would take off the bra, put on the sport bra, with the girls jumping around when you're doing your little running stuff. And so I'm like, okay. So I would literally have my tennis shoes, my socks, my sport bra, my workout pants, everything. I had my water, and I would just head right back outside because I'm like, if I stop and do anything else, I'm not gonna do this. I was just moseying on down the street, putting in my miles. All of a sudden, I hear somebody blowing a horn, and they were riding on the side of me, but I never would look. I just kept on running. And then I stopped, and I'm like, what you want? And then the person was in a car that I didn't recognize. you know. So then they get out of the car, and I'm up here going, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I'm looking, and then it was my friend that was supposed to train with me. She said, girl, you look so good. What you been doing? I said, training for that marathon that we supposed to do together. Well, she started talking to me, and I'm up here trying to, you know, jog in place, trying to keep my blood flow and, you know, keep everything warm. And then I finally had to tell her, look, I don't have time for the small talk, honey. Toodaloo. And she was like, but girl, oh my goodness. I'm thinking you could have been partaking in all of this goodness and stuff. But no. You want to be a Hungry Jack biscuit and flake out. So peace. One thing about putting your miles in when you don't have nobody with you, y'all, it get kind of scary sometimes because, you know, you be like, oh my gosh, it's getting dark and I'm still over here, you know, by all these woods. Boy, you start hearing stuff rustling in them bushes, boy, your inner flojo start kicking in. Boy, I take off running. A couple of times, I'm like, do I hear that music from Halloween or Jason? You know, these are Jason's woods. I'm like, oh God. So yeah, day in, day out, I would go, you know, go down there. And actually I started exploring the neighborhood until I kept running into a lot of like stray animals. And I'm like, On the weekends, we used to do up to 20 miles. I learned the whole art of the ice bath. Now, when they first mentioned it to me, I'm like, I ain't finna take no ice bath. Baby, after doing those high mileages on the weekends, baby, I was like, 5 bags, 6 bags of ice. I learned how to take the bath. Now, they gave me this little trick to make it more endurable. Basically sit in the tub, empty bathtub, and let some cold water come up to like waist level, and then put the ice on top of me. Just slice the bags open and let it just fall on top. But to climb into the ice after it's already in there, that was like impossible. I just couldn't do it. Now, the shock of dumping all that ice, oh! But after, I'm telling you, after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes soaking in that ice, I'm like a new woman. The day of the event, I needed that ice bath because I did 26.2 miles. And my friend came from San Jose to San Francisco to support me. And she wanted to hang out, but y'all, I didn't have time in between the race being over, and I needed to get that ice bath and take that to leave. I didn't have time because, you know, she was on a time crunch. And so we are over here by Alcatraz. We're in Ghirardelli Square. We went to this restaurant, and y'all, I was hurting so bad. I think people thought that I had some kind of disability because she had to help me. The restaurant was 3 stories, and it was no elevator, so we had to go up the steps, or maybe the elevator was out of order. Y'all, I was hurting so bad that I just was like, I know I was not a good friend that day because I was in so much pain. She kept saying, are you all right, Kelly? No, I'm not all right. No. I didn't want to sit in the bathtub in the hotel because, y'all, I have been a certified cootie warfare specialist for the longest time. So I'm like, I ain't gonna sit in that bathtub. It was like pubic hair in there from the people that was in the hotel room before me. So the cleaning people didn't really clean it out. I'm like, I ain't have no Lysol. I ain't have no way to really bleach it. And so I had to just be like, okay, you know what? You are hurting. You cannot go to sleep and wake up the next day. You're gonna be in way more pain. You need this ice bath. And so y'all, I had to suck it up, go get a garbage bag. And I was dragging a bag of ice down the hall. I got in that bathtub and just was like, God bless my body. Don't let no cooties, no germs, no STDs, nothing. Don't let it enter my body. I dumped that ice in there on me, baby. I took that to leave. Woke up the next day, was perky, and I felt like a brand new woman. And so I was like, oh. But y'all, ice baths saved my marathon training life. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please be sure to turn on your notifications so you'll know when I upload videos in the future. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share my video with every Tamisha, Dictatus, and Harpo you know. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Cali_Grits. And I created a fan page on Facebook at Cali Grits. Thank you so much for being a part of the Cali Grits tribe. Peace.